Hello guys, I'm Yadagiri Reddy and welcome to my channel hyrtutorials. In this video, I'll explain about how you can change the order of the tabs in extent reports or how you can remove some of the tabs in extent reports. So whenever you open any extent reports, in the left side panel, you can see the tabs, right? So here, this yellow color highlighted thing is the tabs, guys. So let me show you in the real time also. So this is the actual report, right? So in the left side, we have something called tabs here. So you can see there are around 6 tabs here, right? So the first one is related to test. That means if you click on this, all the test cases will be displayed here. And the second one is exception. So if you want to filter your test case failures based on the exception, you can click on this second one. And the third one is category. If you want to categorize your test cases based on the category, that means the group name or tag name, then you can click on the third one. And similarly, fourth one for device categorization, fifth one for author categorization, and the sixth one is dashboard, right? So like this, we have some tabs here. So if you want to change the order of these tabs, let's say whenever I open this extent reports, now what is opening first? By default, first the test cases will be displayed, right? But instead of that, I want to see the dashboard. So whenever I open the extent reports, by default, I want to see the dashboard. And then I can go for the test cases. So that's how I want to change the order. Or maybe I can remove some of the tabs from here. So let's say there is something called author, right? So I don't want to know who developed the test cases. So in that scenario, I can just remove this. Even though I am providing that information from the extent reports, I can just simply remove this while generating the report. So only the remaining 5 tabs will be there in that case, right? Like this, you can remove some of the tabs or you can change the order of the tabs also, guys. So I will show you how we can do that. Fine. So let me just jump into the Eclipse and let me copy paste any class here. So chapter 10 is created. Let me open that and let me close the remaining things here. So now let's just make sure that we have all type of test cases here so that all our tabs will be displayed. So for that, we need to have the author information, category information, and device information. And dashboard and test will display anyway, right? And apart from that, we need to display the exception thing also. So for that, let me just add one more test which has an exception in it. So if you have this kind of test, then only your exceptions tab will be displayed, right? So only for that purpose, I'm adding this test. Otherwise, I'm not actually bothered about the test cases, guys. Fine. So now let's just run this and see all the tabs are displayed or not. So now you can see test, exceptions, category, device, and author and dashboard. All the tabs are displayed, right? So we are good. So let's close this. Okay. So now we want to make the changes to this report, right? We want to remove some of the tabs from that and we want to change the order of the tabs also into the extent report. So how you are going to do that? And where do you need to apply these settings actually? We basically have 2 types of objects. One is extent reports object and the other one is Spark Reporter object. So on which object we are going to perform these changes? So think for a moment, guys. So the extent reports object is going to help you in generating the report entirely. But if you want to make any changes to the report, you need to perform those changes on the Spark Reporter only. Why? Because you can have any type of report here. Like instead of Spark Reporter, you can have emailable report, you can have event stack report. So any kind of report you can actually have. And for every report, you are going to have the report name, doc title, and your tabs. All these things are actually related to the report only. Correct? So this extent reports is the engine, but this is your actual report. So which means if you want to change the order of the tabs or if you want to remove any of the tabs, then you need to make those changes on the Spark Reporter only, right? So let's make those changes on the Spark Reporter here. So here I'm just calling Spark Reporter object dot. We have a method called view configurer, guys. So we have to use this method. So what exactly this view configurer is? So whatever we are saying as tab here, it is a normal terminology. But in the programmatic terminology, all the things are actually the views. So every tab is nothing but one view here. Fine. So when you click on this, you are able to see a different view, right? So that is why we will call them as a view. And we want to configure those views. Either you remove the tabs or either you change the order of the tabs. It is going to be view configuration only, right? So that is why the method name is view configurer. And inside this, we are going to actually change the order of the views and we are going to remove some of the things also, right? So we have a method called view order. And on top of that, we have another method called as. So for this as method, you can actually provide the list of view names or view name array also. Anything is fine. So here the view name is nothing but the enum, guys. So this view name is the enum. If you want to provide all the view names in the form of an array, you can provide that. Or you can directly convert that into a list and you can provide that. Anything is fine. Right? So now let me just take the array itself. New view name. So you can see this is the view name. So this is basically a enum. So inside this enum, we have these values. So whenever you are creating any array for the enum, those values of the array also should be enum values only. Correct? If you are creating an integer array, you will store integer values. So if you are creating a string array, you are going to store string values in that. So in the similar way, if you are creating an array of type enum, you have to store the enum values only inside that, right? So for that, so I'll just mention like this so that it will be clearly understandable. So here we need to call view name dot what are the tabs you want to display or what are the views you want to actually display there. You cannot directly remove any view here, guys. If you want to remove any view, you have to remove that and provide the remaining view names. So it's very simple. You cannot directly remove it. But if you tell what are the views you want, indirectly you are removing some view, right? So that's how it actually works. You cannot directly remove one view, like how you remove one element from the list. That's how you cannot remove it. But if you mention what views you want, actually, indirectly you are mentioning that you don't want some views, right? So we are going to mention what are the views we want. So first let's take the test, and after that I want the exceptions also. I want to only remove this author details. The remaining things I want to keep. So I'm going to add the remaining all the things here, guys. So all these things I want. And here I'm removing simply the author information, right? So this author view or author tab I'm removing and I'm only keeping these 5 things. Correct? So now let me just run this. So once you create this one, you need to call one method called apply, guys. If you don't call this method, by default, these changes will not be applied. Fine. So now let me just run this. So this time we should not see the author related information. Now you can see, even though the author related information is available inside the test, we are not getting the author tab here, right? That is because we removed it from here. So this is how you are going to remove it. If you want to remove any tab, you should not mention the tab and you need to mention the remaining all the tabs here. Got it? So now we have removed the author tab, but this order is still same, right? So now I want to change the order of this one. I want to make the dashboard first, then test, and then all the remaining things. So how you are going to change the order? It's very easy, guys. So while you are actually removing the things, make sure that you are providing the proper order that you want actually. So now I am providing this order, right? So the report is also generated with this order only. So if I provide this view name on the starting, dashboard, test, exception, category, device. So now you have actually changed the order of the view names also. So now let me run this. So now you can see whenever I open this report, by default dashboard is opened. But earlier whenever I open the report, by default test cases are displayed, right? Now dashboard is displayed because we have changed the order of these views. So by default first dashboard is there and then test and then exceptions and categorization and device information. So if you want to change these things also, let's say you want to keep the categorization in the last. So you can keep it, guys. Fine. So let me run this one more time. So now you can see the categorization is moved to last one, right? So this is how you can remove any views or tabs, and this is how you are going to change the order of the views or tabs also. It's very easy, guys. So you need to simply specify what are the views you want to display in the extend reports. That internally means that you are going to remove some of the views. And also while providing those view names, you need to make sure in which order you want to see them in the extend reports. That's it. A very simple step. Okay. So this is how you are going to remove or change the order of the views, guys. Fine. So I hope you understood this video. If you like the video, please hit the like button. And if you have any doubts, please mention them in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.